I hear people saying they don't have time to read a book in their busy life, not even one book a year. This book is written by a 10-year-old, and it is quite good, written from the first person perspective. If you're looking at inspiring to write from the perspective of children, I would say give this book a go. He has done a fantastic job. He has a very supportive father, and before doing this review, I talked to the father, obviously have a bit more communication before getting the green light to do this video, due to not forcing children to do what they choose not to do, and so on. Otherwise, that's my point, and let's get into it. Hello there, I'm Andrew Casey at Hypersanity Books, and today I'll be reviewing Nightmare Zombie Apocalypse, written by Dean Hanson. As previously mentioned, getting the green light from the father, I have done a few book reviews with Damien Hanson before. I have been introduced to a few authors through him, so getting the green light this way was a lot easier, already having a previous relationship and a little bit longer term. Then there's also knowing there's the permission between child, father and child not being forced to allow me to review his book. Now, I had a few questions to pass through to ask Dean. Dean is his age, he is 11 years old in Korean age, but 10 years old. With Korea, I've heard of it where you're already a year old when you're born. It's a little bit different to how it works in other places. So he's 10 years old, South Korea is where he lives, speaks English from his father, so he recognises between American and Korea. Joseph Phelps is his favourite author. He is planning more books, doing a lot of work. I think that's really inspirational for such a young age to be writing as well as he does, and his father also helps with that a lot, being a university professor with creative writing. It has a lot of good resources. Asking the question, most of the book he wrote himself without much real editing help, and I think that's quite amazing because this book is written extremely well. So when you find out that he's 10 years old, and not just that, he didn't have too much help to finishing the book, that is something really to inspire to. Favourite genre is comedy, loves comedy books, so should be reading a few joke books on this channel one time soon. Favourite YouTube or booktube channel is Pat and Jen. I'll leave a link at the end of the video. And my other final question, have you read Dark Sparrow? Dean replied that he has not read Dark Sparrow. The name sounds good. Is it for his age group and target audience? No. Dark Sparrow is M-rated. It is for 15 years and over. A lot of its content is not suitable for children. However, with the complexity of the book at an older age and more of an understanding of the subject matter, maybe take a look when you're 15. But thank you for asking the question and answering. Definitely not reading Dark Sparrow right now. But I do encourage it at a later point. Now taking a look at the book, it is 15 chapters. It is divided quite well if you're looking at structuring it in plot point form. Whatever the case, it is laid out really well. The first chapter starts off in the apartment, can't wake up Dad. I see the self-insert because the protagonist is also named Dean, and to living in South Korea. Now, this worked extremely well in its own way, creating the setting. The setting in the book is good, where the goal is to go from one place to another place. They are within certain conflict. Outside, goes down Checkmale in this apartment building and realises that the world's kind of not good because it's overrun by spiders, and the poor kid suffers from arachnophobia, which also worked in really well how it was written. The theme of the book obviously being Nightmare Zombie Apocalypse, Spider Apocalypse, my pardon. It worked extremely well to having the prevalent theme of the book. Moving along, it gets to chapter 3, breaking into a convenience store to get some soda. I can actually kind of relate to that. I do drink a lot of soft drink myself. I probably should cut down. Now, within the scene, the fight scene is well written. When you're reading it in the perspective of a child, because this book is written in first person, it's quite interesting. Now, it has that sort of feel like it's fun, like Tremors, where I'm not trying to say the situation of Tremors is fun, but the problem solving is fun, where you're trying to do what you can to survive. The things that you do to damaging an enemy, how it scurries along the ground, bumps into something. It was well written, and this was something else to look forward to in what you would do in a combat situation in the perspective of a child. I cannot say too much more without really ruining the book to the main plot, and that is unfortunate. There is a lot I'd like to say about this book, but I really can't, and that's an apology, Dean. I really can't, because I think getting involved in the world is the best way to go than to have someone else ruin the book for you. Otherwise, the setting is good, it is detailed enough to know where you're at, and that worked really well with a lot of the subplots and the current situation with every chapter, how to problem solve. So the setting is good, the theme is consistent throughout the book, the character perspective is extremely strong. It's the strongest point of the book, and that's not something that I've seen consistent. I've read a lot of other children's books or younger than middle grade books, and they don't have that kind of problem solving element within the book. It's too much tell instead of show. This showed the conflict, which was also very strong as an element of writing throughout the book. Very consistent. Otherwise, I do rate this book for the target audience, for the age, for just all these factors, 5 out of 5. And to my previous statement, yes, if you like Tremors, this is Tremors for kids. Yay! Or any other sort of B-grade movie that you've seen, this is probably an interesting path to take. I'm looking forward to what other books you're going to write. Otherwise, that's it for today. If you want to see more book reviews, to anyone watching the channel, please hit like, subscribe, comment. If you have a book you'd like me to review, please email me at andrewcasey@hypersanitybooks.com. And I'll catch you all next time. Thanks again, Dean.